Welcome. Thanks for tuning into the Kilachari Torah Halacha Review and Daily Sefirah to Omer count for Thursday, May 13th. Today is day 46 of the Omer, Hayom Shisha V'Arbaim Yom Shehem Shisha Shavuos V'Arba'a Yamim LaOmer. We are looking at point number 46 in our series of methods for acquiring the Torah as described to us in Pirkei Avos. Machkim es Rabbi. The literal translation of this is to sharpen one's Rav, one's teacher. Tiferes Yisrael. One of the commentaries in the Mishnah explains that what we are trying to accomplish here is, of course, treat one's Rav with utmost respect, of course, and if a particular ruling seems peculiar in one's eyes, one should reiterate to himself that the Rav quite possibly knows what he's talking about, and his words should be acceptable. A person once came to the same Tiferes Yisrael asking for haskama, for an agreement, a letter of approbation to a new Sefer that this person had written. In the Sefer, the author answered all the questions posed by Rabbi Kiva Eger in the Yoredeya section of Shulchan Aruch, aside from three questions which were left unanswered. The Tiferes Yisrael said, "Why did you leave these three unanswered?" "Trust me," said the author, "I tried very hard to answer these, but I was not able to find an answer to these three." "Ah," said the Tiferes Yisrael, "these three questions are the only ones you fully understood. You haven't even begun to comprehend Rabbi Kiva's other questions." So we can, I don't know, take a little word of caution there that to be careful and to appreciate what we learn from our various teachers. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about honoring Yom Tov with food. Every man is obligated to gladden the hearts of his wife, his children, and all who are dependent on him, says Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, in a way suitable to each. Children, we give treats, nuts, candy, and the like. To women, clothing and jewelry according to our means. And to men, meat and wine. That makes them happy, according to Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Mentioning several of the later poskim. It's the custom to serve a greater variety of foods on Yom Tov than on Shabbos, because with regard to Yom Tov, the Torah mentions rejoicing, usmachtem, which it doesn't say with regard to Shabbos. It says oneg, you should enjoy it, but not to actively rejoice like it does on Yom Tov. Different, separate mitzvah there. Also, Yom Tov clothes should be special and perhaps even more costly than Shabbat clothes. We certainly mark different Yom Tovim with different symbolic, special, memorable foods. On the second day of Pesach, the Kitzur writes, we should add an extra dish to the meal to remember the feast of Esther that took place on second day Yom Tov. This was the day that Haman was executed. Also, and very pertinent to what's coming up in just a few days, on the first day of Shavuos, it's customary to eat dairy foods. There's a number of reasons for this. Torah is likened to milk, to mother's milk. It's very nourishing and sustaining. And some of the other ones that are given here. There's a hint to this custom found in the words of the book of Numbers of Bamidbar, chapter 25, verse 26. There's a phrase that says, Mincha chadash al Hashem b'Shavuos Seichem, a new offering to Hashem on Shavuos Seichem. The initials, the Rashi Tevis, first letters of each of these words spell out Mei Chalav, of milk. You should also eat foods with honey, because Torah is compared to milk and honey, like it says milk and honey are under your tongue, famous verse from Song of Songs, Shir Hashirim. Now, since we eat dairy foods and we must also eat meat, because it's a mitzvah to eat meat on every Yom Tiv, we do take care not to come up against the laws of separating milk and meat. So what we do here in Shul, usually most years, unfortunately not last year, or apparently this Yom Tiv, is to enjoy a nice cheesecake kiddush right after davening. And then we wait a while, learn together for a while, and then we wash and have a nice fleshik meal in honor of Yom Tov. So that should be our procedure at home. Also, eat some milchiks to think about many symbols contained in eating dairy, and then wait a while, and then have some meat. Even though eating and drinking on festivals on Yom Tov is a mitzvah saseh, a positive commandment, we shouldn't spend the whole day doing it. Because it says the Torah calls Yom Tov Atzeres LaHashem Elokecha, a day of restraint in honor of God your God. So even though it says it should be for you, a day of restraint for you, the sages explain the day should be divided. Famous phrase that they use here: Chetzi Elo, Chetzi Elo Hashem. So half the day you should spend learning and davening, half enjoying, delighting with your suda, your meal, your family. your company, whoever you're fortunate to have with you there. So we should spend some time learning and also some time rejoicing on the day. A little singing, a little dancing is a good thing. And when you eat and drink, we should also provide for the orphan, the widow, and other needy people, as it says, the Levite, the proselyte, the orphan, and so on. It says in Dvarim, which is usually our second day Yom Tov reading. One who locks the doors of his courtyard and eats and drinks with his own family and doesn't give food to the poor and happy souls is not rejoicing in a mitzvah, but rather in gluttony. About such people, it says, the prophet Hosea says, the offerings will be to them like the bread of mourners, and those who eat it will become unclean, for their bread will be for their souls. This rejoicing is disgraceful for them. So we should certainly give tzedakah and support those in our community, and there certainly are some who are in need of help and support in making the Yom Tov. May it be good and healthy and plentiful, bountiful, and truly joyful for all of us and for the whole community. Have a good day. Please join us again tomorrow.